We've got a brand new truck on the channel. This is the Arrma Kraton V6 6S, and it does come in two new colors. It's red, white, and blue, as you can see here, as well as a green version, which is pretty cool. They had two other versions in the past, the pink and blue, as well as the orange and blue. I think you can still buy those, but these are two new colors. So if you want a different type of styling, this is definitely going to be two colors I personally like. I think the green one looks really sick, but this red, white, and blue is definitely very patriotic, whether you're here in the US or in the UK. It's going to sell for $700 at the time of this video, so $699.99, pretty much in it from all your major stores, Amain, Horizon, that kind of thing. I'll have links in the description below where you can pick one of these up. But yeah, this is pretty cool because I've never actually had just a standard Kraton 6S, and I've had the EXP versions in the past, but to be quite honest, this is probably the Arrma you should get if you're looking to buy an Arrma, because I think you get most of the upgrades that come in the EXP version, but it is a fairly substantial discount at about $700 as opposed to the $830 of the EXP version. So we'll go through the truck, kind of show you what it comes with. First off, all the Arrmas have been coming with a couple nice little hex wrenches. So, you know, if you don't have a set, this really helps you get started because most people are just gonna be using Allen keys and that kind of thing. These are a lot nicer than that. So they do come with a 2mm as well as a 2.5mm, a 17mm wheel nut to remove the wheels. If you run nitro as well, it's got a couple other different options for your glow plug, that kind of thing. A nice little T-wrench here for like 5.5 or 7mm nuts. You got a little QR code here, a little credit card size information thing. You can look up more stuff about the Kraton 6S. Information about the Spectrum line and sort of ecosystem for all their electronics, as well as warranty information. Got some stickers, don't just bash blast, so you can throw that on your one-to-one car if you want, or whatever. And nice little Arrma logos, that kind of thing. Some diff shims, which are really nice because these do come with the EXP differentials. They are adjustable for different slip action internally, and then you got shims you can adjust the mesh. You know, if you find it a little too loose or too tight or whatever, you can definitely adjust that, which is nice that they include that right there in the vehicle. Here's the manual, as well as a parts diagram and, you know, sort of technical pack with some more information, numbers for anything you might want to replace, and then just how to get started, you know, how to turn on the vehicle, a few different languages. The ESC is programmable, which is really nice. This is the V2 Spectrum 160 amp Firma ESC, and a lot of adjustments, which is pretty cool because it's a little bit more of an advanced thing. If you want to adjust, you know, how the truck drives, the punch level, the brake level, that kind of thing. Information about the radio, how that actually works, binding up your receiver. The Kraton also comes with the SLT3 radio. I do like that they got the little sticker up top to kind of show you which truck this actually goes with. So if you got a bunch of Arrmas, that definitely helps. One nice thing about this truck is it does come with the Spectrum SR315 3-channel receiver, which you can bind up to pretty much any other Spectrum radio. So if you've got a DX5 Pro or XSR Plus or like a DXC Plus, it'll bind right up, and you can use the, you know, advanced features of those radios if you don't want to use a stock radio. But the stock radio works totally fine. One of the better radios for sure on the market. It does have endpoint adjustment, dual rate, steering trim, throttle trim, all that kind of stuff. So really nice radio out of the box. But the Spectrum ecosystem definitely is nice because without spending any more, you can just use another Spectrum radio that you already have. Here's what the truck looks like. So this is, you know, the brand new clipless body that they've been using in the V6s. Just two little latches here, front and back, and then some bracing underneath. Kind of shows you how that actually gets put together. This little shock tower mount here in the middle actually integrates into the central center differential housing right there to provide more structure if you land on the roof. So definitely these bodies are a lot more durable than in the past. I have a notorious V6 which I've smashed from probably 30-40 feet up high directly onto the roof. Nothing actually broke. So that's one area that, you know, Arrma has definitely improved their trucks and their vehicles, making them, the bodies, a lot more durable. So it's not just a clipless thing, it's not just, you know, easy on off, but actually making them sort of reinforced and durable and longer lasting than before, which is really nice for a basher. Copperhead 2 tires, they are vented from the outside, so any sort of debris, water that you might get in the wheels will get spun out. chassis is the upgraded 7075 chassis from the EXB. You can see the little EXB logo there. So one of the massive upgrades on the V6s is the 7075 chassis. These alone are like over $100, I think. So nice to have that as opposed to the 6061 stuff that you used to have in the V5s. You got a nice little steel skid plate here on the back. This is the area that generally tends to wear down the fastest because it is rubbing, you know, off the face of jumps or whatever. That's going to last a lot longer. And then you got the EXB bumper here in the front, composite, nice little bit of flex there to add some shock absorption. So the chassis is different. It also has a two-piece chassis brace down the middle. It used to be one piece in the past. The shock tower or the central brace here in the middle is all new as well. Different housing, sliding motor mount, which is really nice. You do have this Arrma, or I think it's Kevlar or something like that. Pretty much an unbreakable battery strap. These are extremely durable, so nice that they upgrade that. Sometimes you're doing extreme bashing, you can break battery straps, so this one's not gonna fall apart on you and will hold up to pretty much the most amount of abuse you can imagine. Two IC5 connectors if you wanna run two 2S packs or two 3S packs, or you have this little loop back port if you wanna run a single 4S or 6S. I'll probably actually desolder these and just run a single connector because that's how I like to run my batteries. Down the middle, you do have composite chassis braces, so these are, I think, different from before just because the diff housings are also revised. So one area that you will get a little bit of an upgrade with the EXB version is you're going to get an aluminum diff case as well as aluminum chassis braces. So that's kind of where your money goes if you want to spend that extra $130. But honestly, these are actually quite upgraded from the past. The diff housings were a little bit of an issue in the V5s. That's probably one area that I think people would break, but these are all revised. They are all, you know, heavily braced here, and I think are a lot more durable than in the past. So that's nice to see that that is one of the major upgrades. I think a lot of people don't realize almost every part on this truck is actually new. It's been heavily revised, and a lot of it's not obvious until you kind of look at it. So you do have the EXB upper brace here. You have the adjustable, stronger servo saver, so a little bit more performance, a little bit more feedback, and, you know, sort of direct action from your servo. You got the aluminum 25-tooth servo horn with pretty much the best RTR servo on the market, the S665 Spectrum servo. Massively powerful, very fast, just a great servo all along, and I use a standard 25-tooth servo horn, which is really nice. From 160 amp ESC, you know, as before, this is the V2 version. It is actually substantially more powerful than in the past, than the orange ones that they used to have. And then your standard 40, I think by 74 millimeter can motor, 6S capable, of course, 4-pole with a nice little heatsink and fan up top. Taking a look at the truck from the front, a lot of the stuff is a carryover from the past. The upper arms, lower arms, I think are all the same. They've gone through a couple of revisions here on the outdrives. This is their latest version, but you have nice steel CVAs out to the ends, and the knuckles have been heavily redesigned. So they're completely different than in the past. They are basically maintenance free or, you know, adjustment free. You don't have to worry about over tightening these pivot balls, which is pretty much something that, you know, people could kind of mess up in the past. If you tighten them down too much, it would bind on your steering, possibly damage your servo. These are all very simple. You just bolt them on and there's no adjustment need or anything like that. Ball bearings throughout, of course. New EXB shocks as well. So this again is carryover from the EXB version. Nice upgrade shocks. They are emulsion style. You do have bleeder holes here on top. So these are an upgrade from before. Another area the EXB has an upgrade is the EXB 7075 shock towers. These are standard, I think 6061 machined shock towers. So pretty nice shock towers overall. But you know, one other area you would get a little bit more, I guess, durability if you bought the EXB version. Body mounts here are all new, of course, to mount into the new body. And then, yeah, pretty much down the middle, everything's, you know, kind of similar as before. I think the center differential is the same as far as these drive shafts, so no change there. But the rear is again a little bit updated. So you do have a new wing mount. So this is more durable, less likely to break. The EXB shocks here in the back. You do have sway bars front and back. Dog bones in the rear as before, so no change there. But you do have that skid plate, and I think the hubs have also been updated a little bit just to be a little bit beefier and less likely to break. So yeah, the truck has been heavily redesigned. A lot of components might look similar because they're composite as before, but they've been upgraded, and it's nice to see those changes. So this, in my opinion, is probably the Arrma you would want to buy if you're new to the Arrma scene. If you don't have any Arrmas and you're curious what Arrma is all about, this is kind of their flagship. This is kind of the one that they're known for. And I think this particular version because it has a lot of the EXP upgrades, the chassis, the differentials, the bumper, even you got the skid plate there on the back. A lot of the upgrades on this thing are all the ones that actually make a big difference. Revised differential housings, again, are more durable than before. I think you get a lot of the performance of the EXP, almost everything that you really need in my opinion, but it is substantially lower at about $700 instead of $830. So yeah, there's a quick look at the Kraton 6S V6, and now we got to go out and drive it. All right, we got Gen Z 6S pack installed and trying out the Kraton. So it's been a while since I've driven one of these. I did calibrate the ESC and did increase the punch up to max. Okay. Such a monster. Oh my gosh. I'm doing some little warm-up jumps here. Wow. Look at that. Just nuts. Traction's pretty good today, so should be fun. Whoops. Come off the jump the greatest there, but not the way I usually go. But by the way, these jumps are getting more and more ridiculous every time I come out here. So these jumps are like 6 foot high. It's a little hard to see on camera, but yeah, they're getting kind of big. Back flip there. Oops. Didn't have it quite lined up. Got a little bunch of little rocks or dirt clumps there. Easy double. Body did pop off there on the front. Let's make sure that's on. All right. By the way, brake tuning on these things is amazing. So, one thing I gotta say about Arrma is they get the setup right. I think it's just because they have more of a racing background. Use your foot to put the body on. So, double or single. Should like a single scoop, double scoop, triple scoop. Alright, seems like we got a little bit of body bumping off here. Make sure it's on all the way. Oh. Kind of ridiculous. right, Arrma Kraton 6S BLX in the hot new red, white, and blue, as well as a green color. No damages. Drive shafts look straight. Arms look fine. Chassis looks good. Body's perfect. Bumper looks good. Yeah, so performed awesome. You know, something I noticed about the body, is it just me, or is it got kind of hints of the XB colors, the red and black, and kind of this old cage thing? I can't remember if the stock Kratons had all that kind of color detailing. It kind of hints at, you know, maybe this is a little bit of an XB version, which it kind of is. You know, the V6 is really, they took all the best parts of the EXB, the chassis, the EXB discs, the EXB shocks, and threw it in here for what I think are the most critical upgrades, in addition to like all the standard upgrades, the hubs, the front knuckles, the battery strap, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Kraton worked really, really good. I mean, the body definitely did pop off a few times. You know, when you're doing those big airs, it does have a tendency to pop off there a bit. My Notorious really didn't, so it's a little odd if I remember correctly. In the standard EXP, or my Kraton EXP, I don't remember that happening, so maybe a tolerance thing. But yeah, overall worked really well. The cool thing about this truck is I did actually get a chance to explore some different jumps that I don't normally do, just because it's a capable all-around machine, tough, durable. At $700 I think actually reasonably priced, considering it does have upgrades that a lot of other 6S trucks don't have, like the chassis for sure, the emulsion style diffs. Definitely really nicely equipped with the steel skid plate, all that kind of stuff, and it does come in two new colors, a green as well as this red, white, and blue. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Kraton 6S BLX, probably the Arrma to get. You know, if you've ever had an Arrma and you do like some pretty serious bashing, I think it's kind of like the best bang for the buck, because you get most of the upgrades of the XP. You don't get the diff housings and the alloy center braces. I think the EXP also has the 70-75 shock towers, which is always nice, but you get most of the stuff that you really need, and as you can see, it holds up to pretty massive air and big jumps and backflips, all that kind of stuff. So especially if you can drive, I think this one works fine as well. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Take care.